Well, hello again, and continuing with our evidence of Jesus and looking into the evidence offered by the church of the most attested to fact in history, the existence of Jesus Christ as a historical character, and for that matter, even the apostles. And once again, as we go through the series, if anyone's got some other historical proof that they'd like to offer to us outside of the New Testament, and we'll gladly look at it. But there are four main ones that I intend to go through, and some minor points. But let's get to it. A letter, or actually two letters, one from Pliny, the governor of Pontus or Bithynia, which is basically modern day Turkey near the Black Sea, and this was written again about 110 AD, and I'll try and read as much of this as I can to you. And I've got to say, just reading this, it just, to me, it's been accepted as actual historical document by historians, but there's just so many things, the language that's used in it, it just kind of, it smacks to me of being a phony to begin with. But needless to say, that even the name Jesus is never even mentioned in this letter, so it certainly is no proof of Jesus. Pliny to the Emperor Trajan. It is my practice, my lord, to refer to you all matters concerning which I am in doubt. For who can better give guidance to my hesitation or inform my ignorance? I have never participated in trials of Christians. I therefore do not know what offenses it is the practice to punish or investigate, or to what extent. I have not been a little hesitant as to whether there should be any distinction on account of age, or no difference between the very young and the more mature, whether to pardon be granted for repentance, or if a man has once been a Christian, it does him no good to have ceased to be one, whether the name itself, even without the offenses, or the offenses associated with the name, are to be punished. Well, so this is a governor that's supposed to be the man in the driver's seat, and he's holding trials. Didn't he know what the laws of the land were? He didn't know whether or not it was a crime just simply to be called a Christian, or that one once was a Christian but is not anymore, if he should still be punished or not. A lot of it is just, like I say, it smacks to me of being a phony. Let me go on. Meanwhile, in the case of those who are denounced to me as Christians, I have observed the following procedure. I interrogated these as to whether they were Christians, and those who confessed, I interrogated a second and a third time, threatening them with punishment, and those who persisted, I ordered executed. For I had no doubt that whatever the nature of their creed, stubbornness and inflexible obstinacy surely deserve to be punished. There were others possessed of the same folly, but because they were Roman citizens, I signed an order for them to be transferred to Rome. Soon, accusations spread, as usually happens because of the proceedings going on, and several instances occurred. An anonymous document was published containing the names of many persons, those who denied that they were or had been Christians when they invoked the gods in words dictated by me, offered prayer with incense or wine to your image, which I had ordered to be brought for this purpose, together with statues of the gods, and moreover they cursed Christ. None of those who are really Christians, is said, can be forced to do so. These, I thought, should be discharged. Others named by the informer declared that they were Christians, but then denied it and asserted that they had been, but ceased to be. Some 3 years before, some others many years, some as much as 25 years. They all worshipped your image and the statues of the gods, and they cursed Christ. It seems strange because he's talking about an anonymous document, and that this anonymous person at first said that they were Christians, and then he denied it. It doesn't make much sense. Let's go on to the next paragraph. They asserted, however, that the sum and substance of their fault and error had been that they were accustomed to meet on a fixed day before dawn and sing responsively a hymn to Christ as to a God, and to bind themselves by oath not to some crime, but not to commit fraud, theft, or adultery, not to falsify their trust, nor to refuse to return a trust when called upon to do so. When this was over, it was their custom to depart and to assemble again to partake of food, but ordinary, innocent food. Even this they affirmed, that they had ceased to do after my edict, by which, in accordance with your instructions, I had forbidden political associations. Accordingly, I judged it all the more necessary to find out what the truth was by torturing 2 female slaves, who were called deaconesses. But I discovered nothing else but depraved, excessive superstition. I therefore postponed the investigation and hastened to consult you, for the matter seemed to me to warrant consulting you, especially because of the number involved. For many persons of every age, every rank, and also both sexes are and will be endangered. For the contagion of this superstition has spread not only to the cities, but also to the villages and farms. It seems possible to check and cure it. It is quite clear that the temples, which had been almost deserted, have begun to be frequented, and that the established religious rites, long neglected, are being resumed, and from everywhere sacrificial animals are coming, which until now very few purchasers could be found. Hence it is easy to imagine that a multitude of people can be reformed if an opportunity for repentance is afforded. And like I say, the whole thing just smacks of a religious writing to begin with. But as you can see, there are Christians, and we covered in the last video there that even the worshippers of Serapis were called Christians, that they worshipped the Christ. Apollo followers worshipped the Christ. Krishna followers worshipped a Christ. No proof of Jesus. And then to look at the last line of the response here that he finally got from Trajan, is that you preserved proper procedure, and also points out, for this is a dangerous kind of precedent and out of keeping with the spirit of our age. It just, like I say, smacks of being bogus.